All right. Okay, so I'm super excited about this, guys. So we're going to talk about going Ruby, and I know a lot of you had questions on the chats about anything from time management and how you work this into your busy, crazy schedule, to posting, to Insta stories, to what do we do every single day, and all that good stuff. So I have written out notes. I've really worked hard on getting you the best tips that I can possibly give you. So if you are out and about, that is totally fine. But if you're not and you're at home and you're able to grab a piece of paper, go ahead and do that. Just that way you have something that you can take notes with to remember some of these tips in case you forget whenever you leave. Like I said, if you're out and about, don't worry about it. This is being recorded, so you can just grab that later and you can watch the recording. I'm so excited. First of all, congratulations for giving yourself this hour or 30 minutes, however long it is. I'm going to try to make it quick to learn all these tips, because that's a huge step. A lot of people wouldn't take the time to do that. So you should give yourself huge credit for making this a priority, because you said you want to go Ruby and you're showing me truly that you do and you're taking the action to get there. So I'm super proud of you. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about in my notes, and this is the wrong notebook, one second. Here we go. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is mindset, because I truly believe that every single thing that we do in this business flows from our mindset and where our head is. People talk about all the time, this business is 90% mindset. So before we even get into the tasks, which are just as important too, like if you're just like, okay, yes, this is going to happen, and you're speaking it into existence, but you're not taking action, it's still not going to happen. But you can be doing all the right things, but your mind is in a crappy place, you're going to get nowhere. So I really want to address the mindset issue first, because I know that if we can get that where it needs to be, the rest will fall into place. Okay? So the first thing I want you to remember is that this does not happen overnight. And obviously, a lot of y'all are realizing that this does take time, but I want to encourage you in that to let you know, big perspective, even if you promoted one time a year, in 8 years from right now, you will be at the very top rank in the company making $33,000 a month. That is crazy. And so a lot of times we will compete with other people. We'll look to the left or to the right at what other people are doing and how fast they're promoting and comparing ourselves and all that stuff. And I just want to challenge y'all and encourage you to not do that, and just to remember that your journey is your journey, and that you need to focus on the things that you're doing every single day to get where you want to be, and it'll eventually happen. May not be in your time frame, but it will happen as long as you're putting in the effort and the work that it takes to get there. Okay, so it doesn't happen overnight. Y'all are wanting to go Ruby. It took me 4 months to go Ruby, and it took me 16 months to go Diamond. So a whole year after I went Ruby is when I finally promoted to Diamond. So at times it did seem like it took forever. So if you think that, oh my gosh, I'm the only one who feels this way, you're not. I've been there, so I understand where you're coming from. So just remind yourself that every single person has their own journey, and I did not get where I am right now in the snap of a finger. It took time. It took a lot of effort. So just keep that in mind. And also another thing too is a lot of people, and it depends on when you joined, but we just got to see our first paychecks, and we got to see the paycheck that we earned from last month on this paycheck, or on the 8th, we got to see that paycheck. And, a lot of people think about this business like a normal job. And we think about, okay, well, whenever you work a 9-to-5 job, you are putting in the work and you get paid immediately for that work, right? And so then you get like your 2-week paycheck or your 1-week paycheck. But that's not how it works with this business. So I just kind of want to remind you of that. Even sometimes, like if you've already seen your paycheck, I want to remind you of that. And if you haven't yet, I want to tell you beforehand. So with this business, it's really cool because your efforts that you're doing now, you're not just getting paid on them for this coming up paycheck. You're getting paid on them next month, and in June, and in July, and in August, and in September, and you're continuously getting paid on the effort you're putting in now. Same thing with where I'm at. I know that my efforts did not write my very last paycheck. Like my efforts in March did not write my March paycheck. My efforts in March and February before that and January before that and all that I did last year and all I did the year before all led me to that paycheck that I received. So that's what I want to, keep, like, just remind you of that. That you're continuously getting paid for the efforts that you're doing now. So even if you don't see that return immediately, you're going to see that. You just have to keep going. So another thing too is we get discouraged often whenever we first join because we talk to so many people and so many people say, yes, I want to do this. Yes, I want to join whatever, but then they don't immediately, right? Has that ever happened to anybody? And there's a little chat in here too. So if you have any questions, if you want to ask anything, if you want to add anything, feel free to drop that in the chat. But has anybody ever felt that? Like, what the heck? No, none of these people that said that they were going to join are joining, and I've had that happen to me too. Madison says yes. Like, I mean, I've been there. But the thing is I want you to think back before you joined this business and how long did it take you to say yes? Did you immediately see one post and join? No, probably not. Did you immediately, talk to somebody and say, okay, yep, I'm in, let's go? Maybe you did, but that is the very, very small, minority of people. Most people, it takes them so long to truly believe that this can really happen. Somebody said, no, it took a bit for sure. I was skeptical. So what I want you to remember is put yourself back in the position that the people that you're talking to are in right now and sympathize with them that they are skeptical. They do want to see that you're serious. So all those things are the reasons why they're not joining right away. And then that you eventually joined and that they will too. Somebody that's interested now is never going to not be interested. Okay, so keep that in mind. There's also growing and sowing and reaping seasons. It's like in the Bible, Jesus talks about that too. And he's talking about how you sow the seeds. And then if you continue to sow the seeds and you're watering those seeds, they're going to eventually harvest. And so that's the same with this business. You're throwing out those seeds every time that you make a post. Every time that you contact somebody, every time you message them, you are planting those seeds. And those seeds are going to harvest because you're going to water them. How do you water them? By being consistent, by doing follow-ups, by continuing to love on that person and create that relationship. That's going to water the seed that you planted. And then boom, one day it's going to harvest. And it may be in a year from now and it may be in a week from now. But you never know when that's going to harvest. So I always tell people, if you're going to quit this business, quit it whenever you are signing up all these people, because if not, you are going to miss the harvest season that you created for someone else. Because you're going to plant all these seeds, you're going to do all this work, and somebody else is going to benefit from it because you're not going to be around to reap that harvest. Does that make sense? So, and obviously I'm saying that because nobody wants to quit when things are good. So you're not going to quit if you're quitting during the harvest season. So that's something that I want to remind y'all of too. Leadership is not a rank either. I know a lot of people think like, oh, well, I'm not, qualified to be a leader. I'm not a leader yet because I haven't even promoted. But I want you to remember that leadership is not a rank. Leadership is who you are and how you make people feel. And the goal as a leader is to make people leave you better than they came. So you want to equip people to be what God intended for them to be. And that's your goal as a leader. So your goal as a leader is not to help these people promote to a certain rank. That's not based on your abilities or efforts as a leader. So your goal is to help people to leave you better than they came and to help them become who God intended them to be. So as a Ruby, you're going to be leading at least 3 people on your team, because that's a Ruby chart, is at least 3 people. So that's what I want you to keep in mind as you're signing these distributors, or maybe you already have the distributors. So keep that in mind whenever you're talking to them, and know that it's not like, okay, well, this person's not promoting, so I'm a crappy leader. It's not about that. Yeah, you want to help them promote, but sometimes people don't want it the way that you want it. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So you just have to know that your goal is to bless them in and bless them out. Bless them in as they come in and bless them out as they leave, and hope that hope that you equipped them to be a better person than whenever they came into this business. And that's your goal. And then the last thing is, you have to have a vision of where you're going. So I want us to do an exercise. And this is going to sound super cheesy, but I want y'all to bear with me, and it's super important that you do it, okay? So wherever you're at, unless you're driving, don't do this. But if you are not driving, close your eyes, and I want you to think about where you want to go. I want you to think about the rank that you want to hit. And for a lot of you, it's Ruby, and maybe it's beyond that. So I want you to look at your eSuite, close your eyes, and like imagine your eSuite, and picture the rank of Ruby next to your name, where it says previous rank paid as distributor, current rank paid as Ruby. Close your eyes and imagine that, and truly visualize that happening. I want you to visualize the volume that you have. The volume that you need for a Ruby is 2,000, but I want you shooting for 3,500. 3,500 in volume. That's what the number is on your eSuite, because I want y'all shooting for abundance in your volume and abundance in your business, because that's what God intends for you. That's what he has for you, is abundance. And so then I want you to get really, really clear about what that paycheck looks like. Is it $522? Is it $378? I don't know. What is that paycheck number? What number is popping in your head? I want you to visualize getting that and seeing that on the 8th of next month, and depositing that amount into your bank account. And what does your bank account look like? And I want you to open your eyes. And now that you visualize that, I want you to do that every single day. And then tomorrow when you do it, I want you to add another detail. What are you wearing when you see your rank change from distributor to Ruby? What does it feel like whenever you see that rank just changed from distributor to Ruby? How do you feel? Imagine your phone lighting up of me or your enroller calling you saying, oh my gosh, you did it. You freaking did it. You went Ruby. Like, imagine that. Imagine how you feel when you're telling your husband or your parents or your friends. Imagine what your hair looks like. Imagine what you do to celebrate. Like, get really, really specific, because guys, when you have a clear vision, then it's going to help you to see exactly where you're going, and it's really going to help you get there. A leader without vision is going nowhere. And at best, a leader with vision is going in circles, and we don't want that. So you have to have vision. So make sure that you do have vision, that you cast that vision every single day, and you get really clear about where you want to go. So now that we have the mindset part of this, let's get into the strategy part of it, okay? Because they go hand in hand. You can't have a strategy without vision, and you can't have vision without a strategy. So I really want to tackle both, okay? So that's the mindset that I really want y'all to just like make sure that that's something that you think about every single day and that you remember to do every single day, because it's really, really important. Okay, so tasks. People were asking, what the heck do we do? And what I've found as a leader is, a lot of times whenever people aren't doing the things that they should be doing for their business, it's not because they don't want to, it's because they don't know what the heck they're supposed to do. They're like, you're working your business. Okay, cool. What the flip does that mean? Like, what are you talking about? What are you doing? So this is what I do every single day. And if you have notes, go ahead and write this down. If you're out and about, don't worry about it. But if you have a pen and paper, write this down. Number 1, grow your network. And I'm going to explain and break down each one of these. I'm going to go over apps that I use. I'm going to go over how I do each thing, but just write this list down first. So growing your network is the first thing. The second one is messaging. The third one is posting. And if you're a super note taker, you can put like posting, like the third one, then put like A as like a real like feed, like your news feed, and then B as your stories, because you're going to post both, like Insta stories and Facebook stories, and you're going to make actual real posts. So grow your network, message, and post. And then the fourth one is follow up. And the fifth one is self-development. That's it, guys. That's so stinking simple. And you do that over and over and over and over, and you get everywhere from executive and Ruby to ambassador. The only difference between a Ruby and an ambassador is that they just have more time and that they just help more people do exactly what they just did. Okay, that's the only difference. So now I want to show you exactly what each of those look like on a daily basis, okay? Let's start with growing our network first. So what I want you to do right now is write down 5 things that you are and 5 things that you love. So for example, I am a newlywed. I am a golden retriever dog mom. I love coffee. I love the Lord. And I love to go out to the beach and travel, do things like that. So I want you to write down 5 things that you are. Maybe you're a mom. Maybe you are a single mom. I don't know. Whatever you are, maybe you're a college student. Maybe you're a hairdresser. Write down things that you love, things you're passionate about. And that's going to help you grow your network. And so I'll give you all a second to do that. And once you're done, then I'm going to explain how that helps. Okay. So now that you have those 5 things written down that you are or do or love, whatever it is, and if you don't have 5 things, you can take some time to think about it. But the purpose of that is because I want you to follow people that do what you do, that love what you love, and who are who you are, right? Because if I go and follow a bunch of moms, or I'm trying to think, like if a college student goes and follows a bunch of moms, or if a bunch of moms go and follow college students, or like if you're super into, I don't know, like artsy stuff, but then you go follow stuff that's really outdoorsy and that's just not you at all. The thing is like you're going to follow all these people that don't have similar passions as you. And as soon as you grow your network and you're adding people to your Facebook and Instagram, as soon as they come, they're going to leave because you're not posting things that are relevant to them. And so that's what this is all about, figuring out who you are and what your brand is. And so you need to brand yourself in the sense that that's what those 5 things, whatever you wrote down, that's what you should be talking about. Those are the things that you can write in your bio of your Instagram and your Facebook. That's the things that you should be talking about. You know, like I post a lot of like inspirational quotes. I post a lot of verses that talk about what God's teaching me. I post pictures, silly pictures of my dog. I love to travel. I talk about all those things, and I'm following people who enjoy looking at that stuff. And so what I want you to do is take each of the 5 things you wrote down, and let's say one of your things that you said that you loved is coffee. Okay, cool. So now let's think about coffee and where would people who love coffee be on Instagram? Maybe you would search in, like, you know, on Google, coffee shops near me. And then you would go to Instagram and like you'd find the name, go to Instagram, type in that name, look for that coffee shop's Instagram near you, and then go and follow people that follow that Instagram page or follow people who like their posts. That's going to find people who love coffee and who are in your area. It doesn't have to be in your area, but that's just an example. Let's say you said that you love fashion, you love clothes, you love shopping, whatever. Search a boutique in Alabama. I live in Michigan, but I could do this too. Boutiques in Alabama. And then I look up boutiques, and then I'm like, okay, perfect. So this boutique, you know, I'm going to look it up on Instagram. I'm going to go to the second picture, and there's a reason for that. The number 1 picture, or the newest one, is probably not going to have as many likes because it hasn't been up for that long. But if you scroll down too far, you're going to find older pictures, and the people who liked those may not be active on Instagram anymore. So it's really important that you do like the second picture, sometimes the first if it has more likes, but go and follow the people who like that post, okay? And then doing that, you're going to find people with similar interests. And you have to remember too, if you go and follow, 150 people, you may get 20 people follow you back. That's normal. So I want y'all to hear from me first. People tell me no. People don't reply back to me. People leave me on red. People don't follow me back whenever I follow them. That's okay. That's all normal. That's part of it. That's okay. I don't take it personally. I don't even think about that. And that's not where my focus is. But I need you to know that it's normal. I need you to know you're not the only one that's experiencing that. So don't feel like you're isolated and like, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with me. There's not. Okay, so you're going to follow people with those similar interests. Some of them are going to follow you back and some of them aren't. But doing that consistently, you're going to grow your followers. Because let's say you followed 150 people and then you follow 150 people again, and each time 20 people follow you back. And then you just grew 40 followers, right? And it took a lot of time for you to do that. But doing that over and over and over and over and over again for a long period of time is how I've gotten up to almost 19,000 followers. And I started with like 500. Like I started exactly where y'all are. But I've grown my Facebook and my Instagram so much that I have a lot more friends and a lot more following, because that's part of what I do every day. And so then the ones that don't follow you back, go ahead and write this down. There's an app called Cleaner. Download that app and use that app if you haven't already. And it's so helpful, y'all. It just basically unfollows the people that don't follow you back. So if there's somebody that, you went on this huge like following spree, you can just go in the settings on there and just, if you click around, you'll figure out how to do it. There's also a video on our team page of how to use Cleaner. If you just search that keyword in Dare to be Diamond. But just remember, it's consistency. And whenever you're getting people added to your page, you want to keep them. You want to keep them there. You don't want to have like 10 people follow you back and then 8 unfollow you, which is why it's so important to make sure you're following people that love what you love. They're going to care about what you're posting about, and your post shouldn't all be about it works. If you look at my Insta stories, if you look at my regular posts, they're not all about it works. And it should be that way, where it's such a blend and such a mix of everything. Okay. So let's move on to the next thing. If y'all have any questions about that one, let me know in the chat, or just like raise your hand if your video's on, and I will answer whatever questions you have. Okay, so the next thing is messaging. This is super important. A lot of people like to have one without the other. They like to either post and never message, or they message a ton, but they never post. And I want to explain why it's super important to do both, and you can't have one without the other. Because if I'm posting, that's great. I'm putting the word out there and all that stuff. But there's something called algorithms on Facebook, and there's something called algorithms on Instagram, and your posts are not always being seen by people. How many times do you go to your friend's Instagram or their Facebook and you look and you're like, I never saw them post that. What the heck? That was like a week ago. If y'all have ever had that happen, it's because of your algorithms. And so just know that like that will help you too with being consistent in posting, because you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I post the same thing all the time. Or like, I feel like everybody's sick of seeing my post. You have to realize that people aren't even seeing your post. So another thing too is that you can't, you can't post without messaging, and you can't message without posting, because posting is not asking. And if you message somebody, the very first thing that they're going to do is they're going to be like, oh, who is this girl? And then they're going to go and look at your profile, and you're going to have nothing about it works. And the last post that you made was 3 months ago. Guess what? They think that this is a spam message, and they don't message you back. So that's why it's so important to be consistent. So whenever you're like, hey, I think you'd be an amazing product model, I would love to give you more information. Are you open to that? And then they go to your page, they're not confused on what the heck you're talking about. They're like, oh, okay, this girl's like, she's doing something. I don't know what it is, but I'll totally message her back. I get a lot more people to message me back because I'm always posting. Okay, so let's talk about messaging. I just had to correlate the two and explain why they're important. Messaging, you can message for host to post. If you don't know what that is, it's basically getting someone on your Facebook newsfeed, or like your Facebook friends list, to post something on their timeline, and then their friends see it and comment, and then you're able to reach out to their friends. So we talked about this on our Monday night team Zoom. If y'all were on it, the girl kind of explained it like, okay, you have 500 Facebook friends. You can message all 500 Facebook friends, but then that's it. But would you rather message, a couple of those people each day and have them post something for you, and they each have 500 friends who are seeing their posts, and you're able to reach out to, 500 people here, 500 times 500 is a lot more people. So you're able to reach more people than you would just messaging the ones that you've got. So you're really expanding your network by doing this. And if you need any other tips on host to post, I don't want to get super deep into it because that's not what this is for. It's just to kind of go over everything we're doing. If you need extra tips, go on Dare to be Diamond and type in host a post. That will come up with tons of information. If you type in HAP, stands for Host to Post. You'll find a ton of information there too. I just posted a whole entire script from Courtney that she went over on Monday on exactly what she says in her Host to Post. It's amazing. I'm literally signing up 3 customers right now from doing that this morning. I'm signing them up on the spot. It's so crazy. So definitely use that. And it doesn't happen to me all the time where I sign people like that. But this new message that I've been using that she taught us is amazing. So use the tips that you're learning on the Zooms. Another thing you can do to message is just straight up message on Facebook and Instagram and send them that message that I give y'all. It's in the team page. I've given it to you in your training as well if I enrolled you as a distributor. If I did not enroll you as a distributor, hopefully the person who did gave you this. If not, let me know in the chat and then I can get that to you. It's just a simple message that says, hey, I just came across your profile. Give them a genuine compliment. Like, I love, the way you dress. It's super cute. I just was wondering if you want to be a product model for me. I think you'd be amazing. You would get a discount for helping me out. Would you be interested? And then you continue that conversation. So you can send those out. And then there's tons of stuff, like I said, on Dare to be Diamond for conversations, how to continue with those. If you're brand new and you're not sure what the heck to say back, I know that there's a couple people who just joined this week that are on this Zoom. And so if you just joined, then feel free to reach out to me and I'm going to help you message. I'm going to literally send you word for word what to say back. You copy and paste it back to those people. After a while, you should know how the conversation goes and you're going to graduate from that to being able to do it on your own. And Madison says, I usually wait a few days to give people time to look at their Instagram page. And are you talking about whenever you follow people before you message them? Yeah, and that's exactly what you should be doing. That's perfect, because if you're waiting a while to follow them and love on their page and comment on their stuff or reply to a story and be like, oh my gosh, that was hilarious, or oh my gosh, that looks delicious, or that looks fun, or whatever, I don't know. So if you're following them and you're interacting with them a little bit, they're going to be so much more open to receiving the message that you're sending them. So Madison, that's perfect. That's exactly what you should be doing. And it's going to get you a lot more responses. So as far as like how many messages, that's like the golden question. People are always like, how many do I send out? I don't really count mine. Honestly, I don't really count how many people I message every single day. I just message until I can go to bed and feel confident that I can pat myself on the back and say, you did good today, Morgan. And if I don't feel that way, I'll stay up an extra 5 to 10 minutes and I'll send out more messages. And so that number may look different for you, but here's the thing. Bottom line, if you're not where you want to be with this business, you can always do more. So don't ask how many messages is too many to send. There is never too many messages to send. So keep sending out messages until you are satisfied with the results that you're getting. So don't focus so much on the effort and like, okay, I'll message a couple people, perfect. But if none of them responded, maybe you should keep messaging until you get a couple of good contacts today. And you're like, okay, I talked to a couple people about the products. I feel really good. Now I can, take the rest of the night to spend with my family. That's great. Do that. But I think that at least 35 messages is super, super doable, guys. You're sending pretty much the same thing to everybody, whether it's Host to Post or whether it's a message on Instagram. It takes 5 minutes to send out 35 messages. Very, very quick. So that's what I challenge you to do as your minimum number. But if 35 doesn't feel good to you, do more than that. Okay, let's talk about posting. I really, really, really want to make sure that y'all know how important it is to get a bright picture. So I'm going to actually share my screen and I'm going to show you how I edit my pictures. Everybody write this down if you are taking notes. The app that I use is called Pick Tap Go. I'll put it in the chat so that you can see how it's spelled. And I think it may be like $1 or $2, but y'all, however much it is so stinking worth it. It is so worth the money that it costs because I use that for every single picture that I take. Let me see if I can find one to edit for you. Hang on one second. Let's see here. Okay. Let me see if it'll let me share my screen. Give me one second. Hang on. I gotta let it screen mirror. Okay, can y'all see my phone? Oh, now you can, right? Okay, cool. 1 second. This bubble's popping up. Okay, so I'm gonna go into my PicTab app. By the way, this is, oh, that's what it looks like right here. So it's that app, and I'm just gonna click this. Or not. Hang on. And I'll show you how I edit it. I'll just do this one that I did this morning. So, okay, so I have this picture. This is about an edit. So, number one, you can't edit a crappy picture and make it look amazing. So the picture itself does need to be good. If I took a really crappy dark picture and I try to edit it and lighten it up, it's going to make it really, really grainy. And I know this sounds super like specific, but it's super important because I'm going to show you in a second the difference between a couple of different Instagrams, and you're going to see why you want your page to be so bright, because people are going to follow you or they're not going to follow you based on what your page looks like. You want it to captivate people, especially on Instagram. Facebook is not as important, okay? So you're going to click the picture you want, you're going to click edit at the top, and then you're just going to start choosing filters that look good. Some of my favorites on this app are auto color, and you can like adjust how much. Then lights on. And then I like to do crispity too. And obviously I'm going really fast because I just don't want to spend too much time doing this. But yada yada, you just like layer filters on here. Air is another good one that I like. And so then you just click go and then you save it. But you can also save a recipe. So right here, do y'all see where I'm clicking right underneath the picture? I recommend doing that every time you create a picture that you love and just name it whatever. And then so now what I do is it makes it really, really easy for me to go in and edit a picture really quickly. So I click this picture, click my style, and boom, I pick whichever one I like the best. And in this case, it's this one, and I'm gonna darken it up a little bit, and I'm gonna save it, and now I can post it. So simple, right? Okay, so that's how easy it is. And this is what my Instagram page looks like. Okay, super bright, really colorful. You can see who I am. You can see that I have these products, but they're not just like me posting a product to the product. Like I'm holding my coffee in this picture. I have a picture of my like bonuses for that week, but it's me too. So you see how I'm blending them all together, and this is just a super bright picture, but it's of the collagen. And so that's what I want you to look at too, versus something like, I found these earlier. So would you want to follow an account that looked like that? And that's an extreme example. This is another one. No clue who this person is. Don't know what they look like at all. Like none of these pictures are them. And so that's just what I want to, oh, and then I'm going to show you ones I do like. You don't want to have, it works in your name on your Instagram because people don't want to follow somebody that sells something. So you don't want them to initially think that you're following them to sell them something. You want to create a relationship with them. But this is a girl in our business. I almost said on our team, I wish. But see how bright her pictures are? She does this business, but you can't tell that she's selling something. It's not spammy or salesy. Super, super colorful, really, really bright. Love her page. And then there's another one. Hers is super bright as well. She does this business, but you can't tell. It's not like overwhelming on her page. She shows what she loves and what she does. Notice she doesn't say anything about it works in her bio. And then this one too. So every single one of their styles of their page are different. So you don't have to look just like me. That's not the goal. The goal is to be the best you that you can be. So it doesn't matter what filter you like. It doesn't matter what you want your page to be like, just as long as it's bright, it's colorful, it's showing who you are, and it's showing the things that you love, okay? So don't try to fit into this mold. Be yourself. Like a lot of people, like the second and third girl that I showed you, they use something called presets on Lightroom, which is another app that's like an Adobe Illustrator or whatever. I don't do that because I don't like I don't like presets, and I don't like how they look on my pictures. I think they look amazing on their pictures, but that's just not me. So I use PicTab Go, and I'm just as successful, and that's okay. So use whatever you love to do, whatever makes you most excited, but make sure that it's bright, okay? I usually post. I used to post like 5 times a day, guys. Whenever I started this business, y'all have it so much easier. We had to post, everything was in chronological order. I had to post like 7 or 8 times a day to get my stuff to be seen. And now I post like once or twice a day. Okay. So you don't have to post all day, every day. But what I do want you to do, Mara said that she loves, is it PicsArt? Is that what you meant? Okay. PicsArt is a really good app too. So she loves both of those. And so if you want to write that one down too, you can check that out. So one thing that I do is I set my posts up the night before. Y'all, it is a lifesaver. I don't care if you have 68 jobs and 23 kids, or if you are just a stay-at-home dog mom, your life is hectic and it's really busy, and you need to plan your posts the night before. Okay, whether you think you're busy or not. People will look at me and be like, you're not busy at all. Like, you just chill at home all day. Somehow your time gets filled up. It doesn't matter. If you don't tell your time where to go, it tells you where to go, and it goes somewhere. So I always plan my posts the night before, so there's never an excuse for me not to have my post planned out. I'm going to share my screen with you again, actually, and I'm going to show you what that looks like and how to do it. And I challenge you to do that every single day before you go to bed as a non-negotiable. Okay, so if I'm on my Instagram, I'm just going to act like I'm adding a picture. So I'll just use this one, even though I've already posted it. I'm just going to pretend. So I'm going to click next. I'm going to click next again. I'm going to write my caption, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be really good. Click OK up at the top. I'm going to click the back arrow. And then you're going to click Save Draft. That picture is going to go right here. And you're going to be able to see all your drafts. So now I have this post already set up for tomorrow. I wrote it a couple days ago. And it's talking about the business. So now I have no excuse not to post tomorrow, even though it's my husband's birthday and we're going to be spending all day as a family celebrating, and I'm not going to be on my phone as much because I have the freedom to do that with this business. Guys, you don't have to be tied to your phone 24/7. I don't even do that. So I plan my posts out before, and it's super helpful. Don't do ads like what we saw in some of those pictures I showed you. Don't Google It Works and post whatever's on there. Try to make it yours. And the best way to do that is going to be using the products that you got in your starter kit and running your auto shipment every month to be able to use the products and be a product of the product, and to have them on hand to take pictures with, to take videos of you using your keto coffee every morning. Y'all, every time I make a video of me making my keto coffee, somebody asks me about it. Somebody is interested because of that video. So I challenge y'all to do that. If you have keto coffee, if you love keto coffee, tell everybody about it. Make a video of you making it every morning, whether it's a picture, like I did pictures this morning, whether it's, you doing like a live video of it, whether it's a straight through video, whether it's little boomerangs, I don't care. But I challenge y'all to do that because people are going to get interested in the things that they see over and over again. You can see an ad on Facebook like 2 times and not really think a whole lot about it, but the 3rd and 4th and 5th time, you're really, really paying attention to what that is. Like those daggum Longe, whatever. Y'all want to talk about them curling irons? Y'all, I know all about them curling irons because I done seen them things like 52 times on my Facebook. So I know about those Longe curling irons or whatever they're called. So I could ignore those. Mara said I got one. Of course you did. I'm telling you, they're everywhere. So it's so funny because I noticed them. Like I saw them a couple times and I was like, interesting. But then like I kept seeing it over and over again. And I was like, what is this? And if it was somebody selling that, I would reach out to them and say, what is this? Like, what are you doing? I want more information about that. But you have to remember the consistency portion of it. Let's see. Oh, there's also an app, if y'all want to write this down too, called When to Post. And it tells you when to post. It's super cool. And I think it's free. And it's based on your followers. So it's actually going to be different than mine because you have different followers than me. So it's going to be based on your followers. The best time for you is going to be in your time zone. And so whenever that is ready for you to post, the best time of the day based on the algorithms and things like that, does it all for you. It's also a reminder because it drops down a little banner that tells you like, oh, it's a perfect time to post. So then you're like, oh yeah, crap, I forgot to post today. So this helps you remember. So, because sometimes we even have them planned out and we're like, shoot, it's 10 o'clock at night and I did not even post anything today. That's okay. Post it at 10 o'clock at night. Some people are like, oh my gosh, it's too late. There are different time zones. Everybody is up at different times. You have no idea who is up and who's going to see that. And because of the algorithm, somebody could see it in the morning. And then Madison said, I think it tells you 15 minutes before. It does, and 15 minutes after. So it gives you this 30-minute window. So if you post it anytime between there, it'll be a good time for you to post it. So it's super helpful because it's also a reminder. And then for your Insta stories, you can use the Over app. I'm telling you all about all these apps. Somebody asked, what apps do we use? I'll tell you all my secrets. Over is a really cool app. It's kind of hard to use. Here, I'll screen share really quick just because it is kind of complicated and we're almost done anyways. So give me 1 second. I'll share my screen. Uno momento. Okay. So this is what the Over app looks like right here. This yellow one. Now I done messed this thing up. Hang on. Okay. Click the Over app. And then you'll click templates down at the bottom. Or no, you won't. You'll click the plus sign. And you'll click the white. And then you click the little check mark. And so then you can add text. And you can change the font of those. And then for the text, you can go over here to style. You can do lots of different things. You can create a shadow with it. And then you can click the little arrow. You can add an image to it. Let's see. Let's say you're going to do hair, skin, and nails. I don't know. And then you can stick that on here. And you can blur out the images, like blur out the sides of it through the mask section, like that little mask part. And you can mask it and like make the edges better. This is a really bad example. Like I would never make an over like this with this thing on it, but you can do it for whatever. And then if you want to put the blah, blah, like the text, you just click these little boxes up at the top and you switch them. And so now it's like this, and then you can go and you can add a graphic. I have some that I've collected. Otherwise, you would just type in like gold paint. And then you'll just layer it again. Boom. And then you can make anything. And then you just save it. And then you can even save it as, you can add it to a folder. And what that does then is, boom, I have like a little leaderboard that I'm doing, have a giveaway thing that I'm doing. I have different stuff. So like now whenever somebody goes diamond, I can just switch out their picture and put their picture there and change the name. And then it's the same thing. So it just saves me a whole lot of time. It's working smarter, not harder. Okay, so that's how you use Over. And that is for Insta stories or whatever. The When to Post app looks like that little clock in the middle. That one next to the Pinterest one. Okay. And I see that you're on a Galaxy, so I don't know if it's on there. I know it's an iPhone app, but I don't know if Androids have it. Emily used to have an Android, so she may be able to tell us if that's a thing. I don't know if she's ever looked it up. But, okay, so what was I going to say? Oh, so that's pretty much about posting, and I would recommend doing Insta stories 3 times a day, post 1 to 2 times a day, okay? Following up. The reason that you follow up is because the fortune is in the follow-up. Guys, if you're not following up, you're not going to sign up anybody because most people don't sign up on the spot, and most people don't sign up after the first contact. On average, it takes between 7 and 21 contacts for somebody actually to order. So I don't think that stopping after 3 like messages, it's not being annoying. It's making sure that they're still not interested, because once they're interested once, they're never not going to be interested again. So it's just finding a time that is better for other people, especially for distributors, because, you know, there's life changes that happen every 3 to 6 months. And so they may say no now, but then they may get pregnant in between now and then. And they're like, crap, I want to stay at home with my baby. So yeah, you're right. Like, I do want to do this business. I didn't know that I needed it back then, but I'm ready now. Or, you know, something may happen with their husband's job and now they're all of a sudden ready to do this business. You just never know. And it's never our job to assume who needs this business. It's never our job to decide who this is for. It's our job to explain to them the opportunity that they have that we could give them. Okay. So that's something too. It's super, super important to follow up, guys. You cannot cut that out of your day. Like, that's something that's a non-negotiable. What I do to follow up, a lot of you ask about organizational tips. Here's what I do. And y'all, I'm just going to tell you right now, I am like OCD type AAA organized. I love being organized, but you know what? If you're talking to as many people as I'm talking to, you need to be organized. And I'm not saying you have to be organized to be a top income earner, but I'm saying it doesn't hurt, right? Somebody that's not organized doesn't know who to follow up with. Somebody that is organized knows exactly who to follow up with and when. So I'm going to show you what I do. I'm not saying you have to do this, and this may not be for you. This may stress you out so bad, because I know there are leaders on our team who have been like, Lord Jesus, no, I cannot do that. I can never do what you do to stay organized. That would kill me. But a lot of people are like, yes, I've tried it and it works so good. So find what works for you. If this isn't it, try something different. Just don't give up until you find what that thing is. Okay, so for me to stay organized, I do have 2 planners, but I leave them at home, and I'll explain what I do with each of them. Okay, so this planner right here is for me to keep up with what I have to do each day. So this is what I do color code it, but you don't have to color code it. I just do because it keeps my mind, like, I can just like space things out of what I have to do when. So I write down what I need to do. So on my planner for tomorrow, I wrote down in green all my things I have to do for the business. So it's the list I gave you: following up, messaging, posting, Insta stories, messaging my polls from yesterday, self-development, and growing my network. Okay. Super easy. Wrote that down in green. Even though I know what it is already, I'm the type of person that loves to mark things off, and I love to just feel accomplished and just have that done. If that's not you, that's okay, but you need to get it done either way. So I wrote that down. It's Derek's birthday, so I wrote that down too, even though I didn't need that to remember, but it never hurts. I have a couple other things I have to do too. I have another girl that's signing up tomorrow that gave me her card info, and she told me that she's ready to sign up and she's going to order. So I have her name in here too. And I just like to color code things because it keeps it really simple for me, and it helps me to like not get jumbled up and overwhelmed. So that's what I have right here. So that's what this planner's for. And if I'm leaving, guys, this is a really cool tip. If I'm leaving my house and I'm like, I'm not taking my planner with me somewhere, but like we're going, you know, to take like a 30-minute drive to breakfast or something. And it's going to be an extensive drive, but it's not where I need to take my planner with me. I'll take a picture of my planner, and I'll go on that picture, and you can just edit it and click markup if you have an iPhone, and you can just scratch it out with your phone, and then you can save it, and then you can mark down everything that you've done. So that's what I'll do too. And then this planner right here is for my contacts of people that I've talked to that week. Okay. So what I do whenever I'm gone throughout the day, I only use this at night. So throughout the day, I'm on my phone. I'm going to, you know, run errands. I'm going to dinner with friends. I'm, you know, running my dog around. I'm doing whatever it is that I'm doing. And I don't have my planners with me. I have my phone. I'm talking to people. I've already sent out some messages this morning, and now I'm going to an appointment, and I have to sit in the waiting room for 5 minutes. So instead of scrolling on Facebook, I'm going to reply to some messages. People responded back to me and said, yes, I would be interested in the product. What are they? I'm going to screenshot that message, and then I'm going to reply to them, and then I'm going to go to my doctor's appointment. I'm going to go about my day, keep talking to people that are messaging me. And I have screenshots through my phone from the whole entire day of people that are interested in ordering. And so then that's from today. So then what I go and do every single night before bed, and I always tell people, I don't care if it's 1:30 a.m. after I go to the bar or whatever, I come home and I write down the list of people in this planner. And all I do to do that is go through my photo albums on my phone. Super simple. And the ones that I highlighted are just because they're a potential distributor, and we have our online opportunity parties every Sunday night. This makes it really easy for me to go find those people that I'm going to ask if they want to come to that. So that just simplifies that for me too. So a lot of this stuff sounds complicated, but I'm actually making things a whole lot easier for myself. So then whenever I do my follow-ups, I follow up from people 2 days ago. I used to do the very next day, but I found that a lot of people that I talked to the very next day, I didn't talk to like we still were like having a conversation at 11 p.m. And then I go and message them and say, hey, are you still interested at 9 a.m.? And it's like, whoa, like, ease up, Killa. Like, that was 10 hours ago. Like, give me some time to respond, you know? So I feel like that was a little overboard. So I like doing 2 days later because it gives them time to know, like, oh, okay, yeah, I forgot to message you back, you know? And then it's not so that it's waiting too long to where people forget what I'm even talking about. And then I would recommend following up 2 weeks later, and then again 2 months later, and then every 2 months after that. And what I mean by 2 days later, so today's April 11th, so on April 9th. So today's Thursday, I'm going to follow up with people from Tuesday. Tomorrow's Friday, follow up with people on Wednesday. And then 2 weeks ago is pretty self-explanatory. 2 weeks ago would be March 29th. That's for Friday. So March 29th, and then people that you talked to back on February 11th, because that's 2 months ago. Okay, super simple. And some of y'all weren't in the business 2 months ago, but if you were. And then, okay, so that's what I do to follow up. Does anybody have any questions about that or my organization? Hi, look at you. She's just like, what are you doing? Okay, the last thing is self-development. I'm going to give you a couple quick names if you want to jot these down, a couple quick books, a couple quick videos that I love on YouTube. We talked about this at the beginning, and I really want to end with this because I think it's the most important thing. And self-development, guys, like I said earlier, this business is 90% mindset. So if you can have the right mindset, everything else that you do from this business flows through that, okay? If you don't have the right mindset, it won't. No matter what work you're doing, it's never going to get you anywhere because you have a crappy mindset. And you're telling yourself that you can't do the things. You're giving yourself self-limiting beliefs. You're putting up walls for yourself. You're giving yourself like all of these restrictions, right? Okay, so super important that you do self-development. So a lot of people will say, I'll say, when's the last time you did self-development? If you've ever come to me with a problem, you know that's the first thing I'm going to ask you. If you're like, I'm so bummed, like I just feel like crap today. I'm like, when's the last time you did self-development? Oh, a week ago. Okay, well then I want you to do that. I want you to come back to me and tell me if you feel better. And you do, because it literally shifts your mindset. But what I want to challenge you to do is not wait until you feel like crap to do self-development. Because if you do, you're going to continue to empty your cup and then fill it back up, and then empty it and then fill it back up. And how can you grow if you have nothing to grow to? Like, if your water starts to overflow, you're going to have to grow your cup to be able to hold that water in. But if you're continuously depleting it and then building it back up, you don't have to grow at all. And so I want to challenge you to do that, because I used to do that and it was so defeating. It was so defeating to do self-development only when I felt like I needed it. And so people will tell me, though, they're like, yeah, I did self-development today. I watched a YouTube video from like 8 leaders on all their tips. Okay, that's a good start, but remember, this is mindset. So I want you to talk about things and listen to things that are going to help your mindset. Like, you don't need to know all the time, like what tips to do. You don't need to know how to message better or post better. You need to make sure that your mind is where it should be, and that your thoughts are being taken captive every single day, and that you're challenging yourself. And so I don't want you to look up tips on YouTube as self-development. If you want to look up tips on YouTube, by all means, 100% do that. But that's not necessarily self-development, because you're getting tips on what to do, your actions. And so if we say that 90% of this business is mindset, why are we so focused on exactly what to do and not where our mind is going to be, right? So look for things like search motivation on YouTube. Literally, you'll find videos from 3 minutes to 30 minutes to 3 hours. Whatever amount of self-development that you want to do that. My favorite place to do self-development is in the car. I love listening to YouTube videos. I love listening to podcasts. I love listening to Audible books. If you don't have the Audible app, you are missing out. I should also be getting commissions for Audible because I've gotten a lot of people to download the Audible app because I'm like a huge proponent for Audible. I love it. And so whenever you download the Audible app, I think it's like $10 a month or something, $15, and you get a free book with it. Well, you're paying for the book, but you know what I mean? Like you're getting a book with that. So you just link it to your Amazon Prime account. You get that book for the Audible version of it, and then it downloads straight to your phone and you listen to it. It's the most simple thing, and you get a free one every month. I've never paid for a book. I just pay for the app every month. And it's like a subscription. So it's super important. I can give you a list of book names that I like. So if you want to jot these down, Secrets of a Millionaire Mind literally changed my life. Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. That's by T. Harv Eker. And you don't have to write that down, but just know like it'll jog your memory. You'll be like, that's the one that she said. And I can send you screenshots of these two in the chat if you want them. Secrets of a Millionaire Mind, that's the first one. Another one is The Last Arrow. It is so good. I'm listening to that right now with some of our leaders on our team too. And y'all, it is seriously so good. Like all of us are like, my life is never going to be the same. Like it's written by a guy that's the pastor at Mosaic Church in California. And he got diagnosed with cancer, and he like is dying and writing this book about what he wants his life to be like and like all this stuff. It's so good. There's another one. Let's see. What's another one that I really like? The 5-second rule. That's really good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The 10X rule. That one's really, really good too. High Performance Habits. That one's a really good one. And honestly, guys, if you're going to download this, I would recommend getting a lot of these books at the same time because your brain isn't going to want the same information every day. One day you're going to want to listen to something like Secrets of a Millionaire Mind, and the next day you're going to be like, that's not what I'm craving. Like, that's not what my soul needs today. It's going to be the 5-second rule today. And I listen to like 3-minute clips or 30-minute clips here and there on my drive from here to the gas station or here to the gym. And that changes my whole day. Oh my gosh. That scared me so bad. Y'all see me jump? I literally that was just my alarm reminding me to move a customer. I literally just like peed my pants. Okay, anyways. So I listen to like little clips here and there, and you actually gain a lot of wisdom from doing that, even though they're all over the place. Okay. So definitely listen to it in the car. Yeah, that's pretty much, and like podcasts, honestly, any podcast. Mara said You Are a Badass at Making Money. That's a good one. And then there's also just You Are a Badass. Like that's a good one too. There's 2 different ones written by the same person. And then, you know, honestly, time management, a lot of people said that. You're not going to ever just have the time. You're just going to have to find the time. And you find the time for the things that are important to you. So if Netflix is important to you, you find the time every day to watch Netflix. If your kids are important to you, obviously they are, you find the time to spend with your kids. If you want to, bless you, if you want to go to the gym, you find time to go to the gym. You know, you find time to do what's important to you. And that may not look like what I look like. You know, I work for an hour in the morning straight, and then I work throughout the day a little bit here and there. For Libby, who is a teacher, that may look different from her. She may not be able to wake up and get all of her stuff done in that moment, but she's able to wake up and do 10 minutes worth of stuff, listen to self-development on the way home, and then during her planning period, she's able to do a little thing, and then she's able to do stuff whenever she comes home. So it's going to look different. Mayra has kids, so her day is going to look different than mine, but it doesn't mean that neither of us have time. Like we all have the same 24 hours in a day. And so use that time wisely and tell your time where to go. Planning the night out or planning your day out the night before, which is what I've already done. Like this is for Friday. I've already planned it right now because I want to know what my day looks like. So there's no excuse for me not to get stuff done. I know when I have to be at different places, and I'm working my schedule for this business around that. And so that's what I just want to remind y'all of too, is like, don't let the reason that you join be the reason that you won't do this. Don't let that be your excuse. A lot of people say, well, I joined, you know, so me and my husband can have debt free, like we can be debt free. But then you're like, well, my husband's not supportive, so I'm just going to quit. Well, he's the reason why you joined. So just ignore that for a little bit until he sees you start making these bank paychecks, and then he's not going to care anymore. He's going to get that vision that you already have. And make sure that you're not like, some of us have kids and things like that. Well, I say some of us, I don't, but some of y'all have kids. Don't let them be the reason. Like Mara right now, like she's literally incorporating this business into her family. And she's like showing and telling her kids, mommy is doing this so that I can be able to do this with you one day. And she's like, I see a lot of people say, mommy's working hard for this promotion so we can go to Disney World. And kids get that stuff. And so just make sure that you're getting creative and that you find time to just juggle those balls, because every single day you're going to be juggling 3 balls or 4 balls, whatever it is based on your life. Maybe you're a mom, you're a college student, you have your business, and you have like whatever. You're going to juggle balls all day long, and just make sure, and this is from TD Jakes, if you want to write his name down too. He's really good on YouTube. It's T, like the letter T, and then the letter D, and then Jakes. He's super good. And he talks about these, like, you're juggling these balls and you're going to drop one of them every single day. You just are, but just don't let the same ball fall twice in a row. So if the gym ball falls today and you're not able to work out and you're not able to get that fitness in, just don't let that ball fall tomorrow. Maybe like whatever else ball falls tomorrow, like, or you have to just make sure that that you're giving yourself grace. At the end of the day, like, you're doing your best and you're working as hard as you can. So don't put that much pressure on yourself. Give yourself grace. Allow yourself to do the things that you love to do. Don't be sitting at, Hillary, I don't know if y'all know who she is on our team. She's so funny, and she's going to watch this recording, so she's going to crack up at me talking about this. But she messaged me and she was like, I know we have this Zoom and I'm supposed to be at a concert, but I'm going to go in the bathroom and I'm going to listen to it. And I said, no, you're not. No, you're not. I was like, I'm going to record this for you so that you can listen to it later, because I want you to enjoy these things that you have going on in your life, and you should be able to do both. I fully believe that you can have both. Like, our God is not a God of this or that or either or. He's a God of both and more. So you should be able to go to your concert and make a killing with this business. So don't think that you have to sacrifice everything to be able to do this or be on your phone 24/7 to be successful. It's consistent action for 30 minutes to an hour a day that really makes a difference. Okay, so hope that helps. If y'all have any questions, let me know. This is recorded, so I can send the recording link too. And if you want to rewatch this, if you didn't get to catch some of it, if you weren't able to take notes and you want to take notes later, you can do any of that. But I'm so proud of y'all for hopping on here and making this a priority. This is seriously huge, and you should really be proud of yourselves for doing that. And I'm super grateful for y'all showing up and getting all these notes and stuff. So I'm here to help you. Seriously, if you have any questions, I'm always here to help you. I'm never too busy for you. So reach out anytime, and I'm super excited. This is going to be an awesome month, guys. You are Ruby, and you are so stinking worthy of that. So visualize that every single day. Y'all are very welcome. Love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.